So, hi everybody. Thank you for coming to tonight's webinar, which is on supporting you with and future career. My name is Scott Doughty and I am a member of the Rcn Students Committee. I'm also the Northern Rep on the committee and I'm a student ambassador at the University of Sunderland. A quick breakdown of how tonight is going to work. So we've got 4 speaker presentations and there's going to be time at the end for you guys to ask your questions. Them questions that you want to ask, if you go into the question tab, which should be on your right on your screen, and just type your question in there, and then at the end I will ask them questions to whoever that question pertains to. As I say, tonight's webinar is based upon the support that you as a first year student nurse can gain through being a member of the RCN. And I hope you're going to find it really informative. And the main message from me to you guys out there is spread the message, all right? If you remember, tell your friend to join, all right? I hope you're going to enjoy tonight's webinars. And we'll kick off with our first speaker.
I think that's me. So good evening, everyone. My name's Mike Adams. I'm the Director for England of the Royal College of Nursing. And the reason I'm particularly on this call is I'm also the member of the executive team that links with the student committee, which is UK-wide. My background, I'm an adult nurse. I trained in the 90s. So I've been a nurse for a while now, but I spent quite a few years working in higher education in a university. So I've got a real interest in nurse education. And first of all, I should say welcome to your courses. Welcome to nursing. Obviously it's a real moment in time for everyone. 2020 has not been a year anyone expected, but it's great to see so much interest in nursing, and it's great that you've all chosen to be part of the profession. The message at the start from me is everyone wants you to do well. Everyone wants you to succeed. Your tutors, the staff you meet in your placements, us as a Royal College, your friends you'll make. Everyone wants you to do well. So you know, despite the situation we're in, you come in with a lot of goodwill from those around you. So the Royal College of Nursing is a trade union and professional body. It's the world's largest nursing union and professional body. We represent more than 460,000 nurses, student nurses, midwives and nursing support workers in the UK and internationally. People who are members work in a range of healthcare specialities and settings in both the independent sector, charitable sector and the NHS. We have members based overseas. We've got members who are retired, and around 36,000 of our members are students. We have an elected council of 70 members who govern the organisation, and there are two other main committees that kind of oversee the 2 elements of the organisation, being the Trade Union Committee and the Professional Nursing Committee, and they are made up of elected members. So members vote for people to be on those committees. And of course, we have the fantastic Student Committee as well that Scott is a part of, who do some absolutely fantastic work on behalf of students across the UK. So within the role of the college, we represent the professional interests of members, nursing staff working in the public, the private, voluntary sector. At a national level, we are part of an NHS Staff Council, which negotiates pay, terms, conditions for NHS staff. And we also get involved in bargaining for pay, terms and conditions with the independent sector organisations as well. So it's not just NHS. We have hundreds, thousands of workplace stewards, workplace representatives under 3 roles, sorry, stewards, safety reps and learning reps. And they represent They're members who have stepped forward to do extra roles within the RCN, these representative roles, and they support our members in the workplace. And they're supported by our local kind of employment relations officers and staff in regions and countries across the UK. So it's a real supportive model of trying to get help to people and advice to people in the workplace, or often through our range of kind of supportive services that we have via our RCN Direct call service, where we can offer members free confidential advice on support on employment matters, career development, immigration, welfare, legal issues, whatever the issues is. That is a call centre, call service. It's not just calls, it's now on very much online with web chats and email responses, just to give members advice in the moment when they need it most. We lobby governments and other national bodies across the UK to develop and influence and implement policy that ultimately will help our members in the workplace, but actually the aim is to actually will ultimately help them improve the quality of patient care that our members can deliver. We run various campaigns, local campaigns, national campaigns that encourage healthcare officials, that can work on various issues. We encourage healthcare officials, elected representatives to recognise the importance of nurses, nursing support workers and nursing students in improving these outcomes for patients. A lot of our work is around offering advice to Parliament and members of Parliament and influences in developing healthcare policies through legislation. We do a lot of influencing where we can to ultimately improve nursing, improving patient care. We don't have any particular political ties to any political party, but we absolutely reserve the right to tell all political parties what we believe is right for nursing. We promote and engage in a lot of nursing research. We recognise that high quality nursing research has the power to transform patient care. You'll hear more about the library shortly. And ultimately, we strive to be, a sustainable, member-led organisation with a member voice and nursing voice at the heart of everything we do. It's a great community to be part of now and through the rest of your career. And just finally, I wish you well. I hope you gain a lot from this webinar. Please ask any questions about our services and what we can offer and how you can get involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for that. So the next session that we're going to go to is with me, unfortunately for our viewers, on me. So basically, I've got a couple of kind of questions that were sent to me prior to this that I'm going to answer. So the first one really that I should really properly go into is a little bit more about myself. So as I've said in the introduction, I'm a member of the RCN Student Committee and I represent the Northern Region. The Northern Region is anywhere from Berwick upon Tweed across to Carlisle, all the way down to North Yorkshire. Okay, so that's quite a big geographical area that we cover. I'm a third year, I've just went into my third year. I'm an adult nurse and I'm at the University of Sunderland and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Granted, it's been challenging, but I'll go into a bit more of that a bit later on. So firstly, I think the first thing that I want to go into is a bit about the role of the student committee. All right, I get asked this question quite a lot by first year students, and I suppose it comes into a couple of different responsibilities is probably the right word to use for it. So the first thing that we do as a committee is we ensure that the voice of students is heard. We're involved with advice and we're consulted when the RCN start developing strategies that are going to affect national policy. So for instance, the COVID response from students. We were involved with that as a committee. We had numerous meetings to try and help gauge what the student voice was going forward, on how students felt, what was going on with Health Education England, with the NMC, with universities, and we fed that back, and that is what helped drive forward different strategies that were involved for student nurses. We share our expertise and experience with the RCN, which is a bit like tonight. That's the purpose of tonight. Students on the committee, we work with RCN boards on activity relating to students, so it's things that affect you as a student nurse we get involved with and try and help support you, ultimately support you, but try and find solutions, and in some cases try and help influence the senior management of the Royal College of Nursing to make them changes and lobby government to make them big changes we need. And the big thing for us as a regional rep is ensure that the students in the region or country are embedded in all activities of the RCN at all levels, which is local, national and international, which is obviously what Mike covered in his bit there. And finally, on roles of the student committees, we contribute to the committee as individuals, as individual representatives. We encourage and we promote and facilitate and support the advancement of nursing for you guys as students. When you became a student nurse, your life will change from day one. You've joined a family, and you know you've joined a family where there's lots of opportunity. There's lots of opportunity as nurses, and there's even more opportunity being members of the Royal College of Nursing. All right. So, for instance, you can become a student ambassador. When my term ends, my seat on the student committee will be up for election. You can apply to become a student committee member. All of these things are affected at regional and national level. The simplest way that you could get involved with RCN as a student is at your branch. I'm a big advocate for students getting involved with branch. Because at branch, that's where you in effect influence small changes that can have a massive impact for other students. So think of that as well. Another question that I've been asked is, what recent committee activities have I been involved with? So from a committee perspective, I've already covered COVID very briefly. So there's COVID. I'm quite involved with the Student Ambassador Conference. So all student ambassadors get an event for themselves, which is a conference. It's a learning and development opportunity. And in some cases, it's really good to have it on your CV as a student ambassador, because you're going to develop them skills as a leader. You're going to develop skills in resilience, leadership, empowerment, and how you can address situations in a logical order without jumping straight in and going at it. Instead, you're going to be kind of shown how to just step back, assess the situation, and then go in, which is a core fundamental skill as a nurse. So there's that. Other committee things that we've been involved with have been the things like the Student Ambassador Project. So obviously, student ambassadors originally were student information officers. As a committee, we're involved with the rebranding of that. So they're just kind of a couple of committee activities that we're involved in. Another thing that I do get asked quite a bit by student nurses, whether they're first year or second year, is my experience of being a student nurse. So my experience, very briefly, is I've loved it. I've loved every minute of it, and I've grasped every opportunity possible. And that is the big thing that I want to get across to you, to first years here, is grasp every opportunity that's thrown at you as a student, whether that is at university, whether that is with a trade union, a professional body. Whatever you do, grasp it, all right, and own it. You know, in our university, we had the opportunity to go to America for 3 weeks. I applied, had to drop out of it, but I applied. that's grasping an opportunity. The same as the student committee. You know, I've seen that, I grasped that opportunity. From a placement perspective, obviously COVID came along and hampered quite a few, pretty much everybody's placement experiences apart from third years who ended up on the emergency paid clinical placements. So you'll hear that thrown around quite a bit, which is EPCPs. I didn't get that. I was in with the opt-in or opt-out students. I opted out because of my own health. But that hasn't impacted my training. I'm not looking at it as it's impacted my training. If anything, it's taught me to be a bit more resilient, and it's taught me how to adapt. And as nurses, we need to be able to adapt. As a first-year nursing student, you will learn over your first year how to adapt to different situations that are arising. And I've turned COVID from being that negative into that positive of what can I do with this situation? And for me, it was resilience and adaptability. Placement-wise, obviously, I've done my first-year placements, which is core foundation skills, which was for me was a urology ward. I experienced a whole array of different cases and patients with that, different comorbidities, different diseases, and I learned absolutely loads. As a first year, you're a sponge. Top tip, get a notepad, pencil that goes in your pocket and write everything down. Drugs that you're using on the ward, ask if you can take the information leaflet out and start compiling your own kind of little file of facts of different drugs, because that will come in so handy in second year and third year and when you qualify. And also just ask questions, ask. All right, constantly hound your placement assessors, your placement supervisors, and ask every question under the sun. All right, you're there to learn. All right, and you need to grasp that. You need to straight in ask these questions. All right, and if there's something you've never seen before, just say to somebody, "Can I go in and watch? What's this? How does that affect the patient?" Just ask them sorts of questions, and honest, you'll be top notch. Another question I get asked is, why should I join the RCN? Well, what I want to say is, why wouldn't you? All right, there are loads of different resources, different support things for students. All right, and you're going to learn about these tonight in this webinar and my next two guests. All right, so just join it. Like, you've got journal articles, you've got the museum, you've got a nice big building you can go and visit as a member, right, and go and see like the heart of the Royal College of Nursing and where it came from, and how, as nurses, the professionalism and how that's kind of turned forward. On top of that, obviously, as a student, there's other things you can do as a member. So as I've said, student ambassador, student committee. I feel like I'm repeating myself now. So there's that. The final thing I want to quickly go into is Rcn Services and Resources and how has it benefited me. I was having a conversation before we kind of went live with some of our presenters. Now I'm just about to enter kind of my dissertation phase, so planning, prepping, all that kind of stuff. And I can't fault the resources that are available through the Rcn resources in particular. You know, the Rcn library, they run one-to-one sessions, they run wellness sessions and well-being sessions. You know, it's humongous what is out there, all right? And as a member, you get access to that. And, you know, there's a big phrase in the Northeast, and I'm going to say it, and I'll probably get told off for saying it. Shy Ben's getting out. In English, that means shy people get nothing. All right, so if there's something you want as a resource, all right, that your university library can't get, go to the Rcn library people, all right, and ask, because they will find it. The same as your university library. 9 times out of 10, your university library will have went to the Royal College of Nursing's library to get them resources sometimes. All right, so think of that. Other services I've used, we've looked at the financial aspect. So for instance, me and my wife are looking at we're, you know, buying a house and things like that. There's legal services, there's wellbeing services, and all of this is accessible as a member of RCN. And again, Mike alluded to RCN Direct, which is a massive thing for members. Use it. So that's that. Again, if you've got any questions for me, because I know I've been quite brief there, because I don't have very long to talk. Like, ask your question in there, and I'll answer it. If I can't get any questions answered, as will the other guys, we'll make sure it's put on social media for you, so you've got answers. All right. Thank you for listening to me for 8 minutes, I think that was. Your next speaker is Alan Chalky, so I'll hand over to Alan. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Scott. Really great to hear your piece there. So my name's Alan. I'm one of the RCN librarians. And what I'm going to do shortly is share my screen with you and just show you some of our online resources. But I'd like to say that, yeah, if you join the RCN, you get access to our nursing library. And as a library service, we go back to the very early days of the organisation. So the RCN was established as a College of Nursing back in 1916, and the library service was 1923. And we really were the very first library service out there. Fast forward to today, and we provide access to around 54,000 print books, over 20,000 ebooks, and around 1,800 full text online nursing journals. And those are all key really to the success of your course there. And it's all part of your RCN membership, and it really is a unique offer that you can access this resource. So I'm hoping the technology is going to work with me. I'm going to share my screen with you. Perfect. I'm hoping you can all see that. So this is the centerpiece really of our online services. I should point out that we are a UK-wide library service. So we've got physical libraries in London, Cardiff, Edinburgh and Belfast. And this is what I always think of as the fifth library, and that's our online library, and that's available wherever you are. And we've done an awful lot of work really working with members to simplify the website, make it easy to use, and actually include what you want in there. So the first thing I'll point out is when you're on the RCN Library website, and you can find us by just Googling RCN Library with a top hit there, on each page you'll see this chat now box, and that's our web chat service. And what that does is it enables you to speak to an RCN librarian, and that operates 6 days a week. Monday to Friday it's 9 AM to 7 PM, and on Saturdays 9 AM to 5 PM. Now it's actually showing us offline at the moment because I've just realised, yep, 7 nearly. But when you actually use this, what it will normally show is put your details in, and that includes your email address, and you will get a full transcript of the conversation you have with the RCN librarian. And you know, a web chat can be anything from a very simple "what times does the library close this evening" through to quite complex help with literature searching and finding evidence and information there. The other feature of the website, which be honest with you, I really like to show off, is our library search tool. And what this does is it provides you with a Google style search engine that cross-checks all of the key nursing and health databases as well as our library catalogue. Google is a great tool, but you know, it will throw up absolutely everything. And what you need to do is focus on trustworthy, high quality evidence and information for your studies. Nursing is such an evidence-based course that you really do need to utilise services such as your university library, the RCN library, and all of those key databases. And I'll show you some of the help and support available as well with that. But a quick demonstration with library search. If I pop in a keyword, and we'll go with the last one I actually put in actually, sepsis management, quite broad terms. We click on the magnifying glass. And this will throw up a huge number of search results because, as I say, we put in a very broad term there. But say if we wanted journal articles related to this keyword or these keywords. Well, firstly, what I would suggest doing is, if you're at home, select full text online so you can get articles in their entirety. We'll go for journal articles on this occasion. And let's go for material from the last 5 years. So you've got all these filters on the left hand side. You can use this slider. I'll be honest, I find that a bit fiddly. I tend to use the calendar, or you can simply click last 5 years. So let's do that. There we go. We've still got a large number of search results there. They're displayed in order of relevance, and you can click on full text online and then link through to the full text article. And when you link through to the full text article, you can print, email, download the article in its entirety there. I will click on that link just to show you. I think I'm probably already logged in, but let's have a look. No, it has logged me out, but whenever you see this screen and you're accessing library resources, all you need to do if you're using us for the first time is click register using your membership number, and then you can set up an account. If you've forgotten your password, you can reset it here, and then it's a matter of putting in either your email address or Rcn membership number and your password, and you're straight in there. The other features of library search that I can show you are you can save items. So if I click on that top reference, management of sepsis and septic shock, we've actually saved that to a folder there. You can email references to yourself, and this is a tool that I particularly like. This is our citation tool. So if I click on the quotation mark there, and we can actually put this reference into our preferred referencing style. Most universities will either use Harvard or APA. I'm going to go for Harvard. And that will actually format the reference into a Harvard style reference. And from here, you could copy and paste that into, say, a Word document, something like that. You can also export your references if you use reference management software, which you may well do as you progress through your course. Our library search is compatible with that. The only caveat I would say about the referencing style is always check what your local referencing guidelines are with the university. So you might need to tweak this a bit so it fits in with the house style of your university. Something I always say to nursing students, and I always used to say as a university nursing librarian, you do not want to lose marks over referencing. So it's always important to get that bit right. But library search does probably about 75% of that for you. You can also use library search to filter to ebooks, for example. So you can clear the filters and you can reset your search and you can search for ebooks. And ebooks are worth a mention. Around 25,000 of those that we've got access to. So pretty much all of the core nursing textbooks, and also books actually around things like leadership and management, books to help you as you progress through your career. So that's library search. The best thing I would suggest is really have a play around with it. The other feature of the website, and I am conscious that I am pushed for time here, but one thing I will show you are our library subject guides. So if I just click on subject guides, and these are a really good introduction to all of the key areas of nursing. Forgive me if I'm going to be a bit self-indulgent, but I'm going to pick one that I worked on, and it's care homes, but you'll see that it is split into 3 sections. You've got key resources, so that's things like NICE guidelines, RCN publications. You've got a selection of books on the topic, as well as links to relevant journal articles and journals on the subject as well. There, so it's all available online. Support wise, if I click on the support heading and we look at literature searching and training, we have our digital drop-in sessions. So these run every Wednesday, 2 PM to 4 PM. At that time, you can simply click on the link there. We actually deliver these using Zoom, which has worked tremendously well during this period. There's no need to make an appointment for the drop-in session. The other option is we offer a selection of one-to-one appointments as well. And again, you can book your appointment online. During normal times, we would offer these face-to-face as well as online, but at the moment they're online only. But to be honest with you, it's working tremendously well online. So you can pick your appointment there. So you'll see that Thursday sessions are sold out, but you've got various dates that you can go for there. And we actually use Eventbrite to support those bookings. And again, that works really, really well. As a librarian, I'm really one for simplifying things, to be honest with you. It can be incredibly daunting, particularly as a first year student, when you're presented with your first assignment and knowing where to start, finding that information, which resources to use, can be overwhelming. What I would say is obviously join the RCN, but do get in touch with us, book onto our training. We're also running sessions on our events program that deal with assessing and evaluating information, as well as sessions focusing on all of the key nursing databases that you can access through the RCN. And on our website, we've got various video tutorials available. I apologise in advance, most of these are saddled with my voice narrating them, but you might be lucky and pick one that isn't. But as you can see, they cover all of the databases there. And I'm really one for kind of bite-sized, clear, concise information. And hopefully that's captured in these video tutorials. One thing I should show before I go is the books, journals and databases section. So as well as library search, which is great for when you're scoping out what's available on a topic, we provide access to all of the key nursing and midwifery databases. And this is as comprehensive as you're going to get really related to nursing. And often you find with universities, there may well be gaps in the resources that they're able to offer, but we do offer a full suite of nursing and clinical databases there. You will become very familiar with things like CINAHL and British Nursing Index. We've also got specialist databases like maternity and infant care, for example, which covers midwifery and early infant care. So it really is a wealth of resources that we provide access to, underpinned by support that we can also give you in using them. And as a final thing, do check out our journal finder. As I say, it says over 1,100 there, but we did a count up recently. It's actually over 1,800 now. An incredible array of nursing journals that we provide full text, and subscriptions to those can be extremely expensive. Join the RCN and you can access those full text online through the library. So that's my kind of whistle-stop tour of some of the key features of the website. When our libraries do open, you're very, very welcome to come and visit us. We are operating a bit behind closed doors at the moment, so we are providing free postal loans to members as well for books that are not available electronically. We will post those out to you free of charge. You would pay the return postage there. But, you know, as Scott says, please do ask if ever you need any assistance. We're here to help you. Web chat, telephone. Drop us an email. You can also follow us on social media as well. It's at RCN Libraries on Twitter, and you can see some of our wonderful historical items. If you use Instagram, we dig out items from the archive there, and we've built up, you know, quite a big following there as well. So I'm hoping I'm to time here. I'll hand back over to you, Scott. Let me just stop sharing a second. There we go.
That's great. Thank you so much for that kind of whistle-stop tour of the RCN Library Services. Just very briefly, kind of honest, first years, second years, third years, use it. All right, it's there to be used, and seriously, like, I found it so useful. Right, we're going to move on to our next speaker, which is Holly Chad. So over to you.
Right, thank you, Scott. It's I'm really excited to be here with you all tonight. My name is Holly and I work in RCN's Member Support Services. So I want to just quickly tell you a bit about the 6 services we offer that all RCN members are able to access. We have a careers service, which provides help with CVs and interview skills and even career coaching. Short-term telephone-based counselling for any issues, not just workplace-related issues. We have a immigration advice support service, which is for members from overseas who are in the UK on visas. The peer support service, which I look after, which is a quite special thing, if I say so myself. It's a network for any members with lived experience of disability and those who are neurodiverse. And from that network, we create positive guidance on the benefits of a diverse workforce. We have our welfare service, which provides FCA regulated debt advice and assistance on benefits issues. And with the RCN Foundation, our Lamplight support service provides assistance to members of the nursing family who are experiencing financial hardship. But what is really special about the services that we offer, if you were comparing them to other trade unions or even at times your students' union, is that we are working with students like you all the time and nurses, healthcare assistants, nursing associates. We really do know what it's like. We understand what the challenges of placement can be for you. We know the immense pressures on the sector at the moment. We also understand the positive elements, your hopes and your aspirations, and we can help you get there. Whether you're in the NHS or the private sector going forward, these are all our bread and butter, really. And I think it's important to say, you know, you listen to Alan's very polished talk and see him show you those library resources, and it's obvious how beneficial they're going to be for you. Many clients who come to us, they don't think they will ever need us, but actually it's equally important that you're looking after yourselves. And at the heart of everything we do is the belief that actually if you can't, you know, if you're not well and if you're experiencing unhealthy levels of stress, then that's bad for everyone. It's bad for your workplaces and it's bad for patient care, and that's why we're here. So if you do need us, you can always call our wonderful colleagues at RCN Direct, and they'll be able to put you in touch with the right services at the right times. We are there for you as individual members, but we also use your experiences, your lived experience as evidence, as Mike spoke about earlier, to push for positive change when it's needed as well. So things like our welfare service would be looking at the lived experience of students who are struggling without the bursary and the impact on that as an example. And as well as contacting RCN Direct, you might want to have a look online, and we have some services and bits here that I'll try and share my screen to show you that I think will be particularly interesting to you as first years. So to find out more about MSS, if you just go to www.rcn.org.uk/MSS, there's a lot more information and online resources on all of our services. And here is our PDF version of our leaflet that you yourself or your colleagues might find useful. In the peer support service, you can see that you can join here online really easily, and you can see all our latest guidance, which is all made by members with lived experience of disability. So here is our fantastic little leaflet all about the benefits of a diverse workforce and what healthcare professionals with lived experience of disability bring. And if you are a member, welcome. And if you're thinking of joining, you might just want to join up now so you can get involved with our events on neurodiversity happening in October. So if you're dyslexic, dyspraxic, if you have ADHD, ASD, then you may be particularly interested in this area, something that often comes up for our members as they get onto university courses and can be identified if it hasn't already. So these are all free events, and we know, especially since COVID, we're offering more and more of these online events. Our welfare service has the brilliant student money guide, which I know is always really popular. You'll be able to get a taster for that online, and then you can log in using your membership details to see the full thing. Our careers resources, we keep pushing more and more online so you can self-serve when it's at best for you, and we have a whole area tailored for student nurses. And our counselling service, which many members will associate with that one-to-one support, are also really involved in producing guidance for you, such as the self-care related work, which goes back to that idea of you need to be at your best and well looked after so you can look after patients. And we have lots of resources here on self-care that you can access as a member. And really, I think the only thing that I would leave you with would be we often see members who do come to us when they're at a breaking point or they've got a really big problem. But, you know, as a member, you can always contact us and see how we can help. And as you start on your nursing journey now, I would wish you all the best. And I'd encourage you to always think, how can the RCN help me? And I think Scott's already covered a lot of the ways that we can help. And it's amazing the amount of services we offer that you might not realise. And that's it for me. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you very much, Holly. I just want to quickly say the student budgeting guide, the student finance guide is tremendous. Like it really does help you organise your finances. If you're kind of living in halls, or if you're living on your own, you've got kids, all that kind of stuff, it's really helpful. So thank you for that. Right, question time. So I believe the first question is for me, and it is, what is a student ambassador and how do I get involved? Well, the simple answer is, I'll break that into two. So a student ambassador, it's a voluntary network of student members, and they work to support and share information with fellow students, and that information student ambassadors then pass up to the student committee, and then we take it to committee, and if there's anything that needs doing with it, all right, then we do something with it. Sometimes it's about sharing best practice, sometimes it's an issue that maybe we need to speak to Mike about, or we might have to direct it to Alan or to Holly or to other members of the RCN, like other other senior people within the RCN that can kind of help facilitate an answer to it. All right, so there's that. It's an opportunity, and it's available to all nursing students, no matter what branch you are doing. All right, so you could be doing learning disability, you could be doing mental health, child nursing, adult nursing, you could be doing a combination. You can become a student ambassador, all right? And it's for students who are passionate and want to make a difference. That's why I got into it. I wanted to make a difference to the profession, to students. I wanted to make life better for students. And you've got to have energy and enthusiasm, and you need to be keen to become active within the RCN, because the more you put in, the more you get out. All right, so again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning. It's an opportunity, you grasp that opportunity and you take out of that as much as you can. Becoming a student ambassador, you take out of that, but you also put back in. To become an ambassador, if you go to www.rcn.org.uk, which I'm sure we'll put in somewhere on social media, /student ambassadors, I think is the term, and it will be there. All right, you apply, sent to governance now, and the process is slightly different now. So it goes to governance, and then you get a lovely email and a letter with your PIN badge, and then your student committee member will get in touch with you and then start your process off of becoming a student ambassador. It's a good journey. That's the best way I can describe it. Is it's a journey, and it's again, what you do on that journey is what helps you become that ambassador. All right. I hope that's answered that question. Anyways, so my next question is for Mike. And Mike, how do we find our local student representative in the student committee?
Okay, thanks. That's a good question. And actually, it's an important question because, as Scott was just saying there about kind of what the role of student ambassador, a lot of what we do is about connecting people and talking to each other. And that's how we gain influence. The voice of nursing needs to be about not waiting for someone else to say things for us. Nursing itself needs to all kind of speak together. So the more we can connect, the more you can link in with your elected members in your different geographical regions, the better, really. So that was a long way of saying, yes, I do know how that happens. There's a few ways. I mean, first of all, I would point anyone interested in the direction of the at RCN Students Twitter account, where you'll get a quick response if you ask that question. If you go on the RCN website and just put in the search box UK RCN UK Students Committee, the page comes up with all the committee members, but there's also a direct email address just for student inquiries, essentially, and that's students@rcn.org.uk. So you can that's a way into the central kind of talking to all the committee about, and you can ask that question there, and the details will be sent to you. But also, if you look, I'll just flick through the RCN website pages under Get Involved and look for wherever your university is across the UK, and find that country or region. There'll be some links there to the regional staff team, and they'll be able to connect you as well. So there's a committee member for each region of England, and then a couple of 2 people from each of the other countries as well. Obviously, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales. So lots of ways of getting in touch and connecting.
Thank you very much, Mike. I hope, again, that's answered that question. The third question is for Alan, and it's, are there any hidden charges for downloading content or books?
The quick answer is no, there aren't any. We pay as a library service a license, and what that enables us to do is provide access to all of the books, the journals, the databases for everyone who is an RCN member. No added charges there at all. It's all included in your membership. Thank
you for that, Alan. I hope that again has answered that question. I mean, to me, that answered that question. Question 4 is for Holly. And the question is, does the RCN have a service to help with shyness and confidence at all? That's a good question. I like that one.
Yeah, I think that's, really relatable as well. I suppose the first thing I'd like to say on that is you're in a really new environment now. It's not unnatural for you to feel shy and to lack confidence, and those things will hopefully improve as you get used to your new roles and responsibilities and you get to know people. Practice is really useful. So how can you network? What are your local RCN networks? We've talked about the student networks that you have. So I'd look into that. If you find, I suppose it's really about looking after yourself and self-care. So you might want to check out our online exercises around mindfulness and caring, looking after yourself. And if it's still a real issue for you, and you feel that it's quite deep-rooted, then why not get in touch with RCN Direct and get some counselling to help move that forward. And even our careers coaching might be appropriate at a certain stage if you find it's very work-related as well.
Thank you for that, Holly. So question 5, Mike, it's for you, and it is, when we join under a student membership, would it cover us as a HCA, or would that be a different membership to get?
No, essentially what we base membership on is your primary role. So whatever you are doing the most of. So if you're a full-time nursing student, you join as a student member. If you then do additional shifts here and there as a healthcare assistant, you're still in membership. So you just have to be open about what your primary role is basically, and your payment is based on that role. So if you're a full-time nursing student, that's your membership.
Thank you for answering that, Mike. I know there's a lot of students I know have asked that question themselves, and I've kind of directed them to the website and to email people, so thank you for that one. Another question for me, which is, did you find it hard getting used to the placement hours? A lot of that depends on a number of factors. So number one, what's your family life like? Number two is, are you, so for instance, if you're going to do night shift, are you able to flick a switch and move on to night shift mode or not? Or if it's just kind of just general, you've got to accept nursing it's a long shift. All right, nursing's not a Monday to Friday 9 till 5 job. Not even in the community in some cases is it that. So you just got to kind of go with it. All right. So as a first year, my advice would be get a decent pair of shoes, eat plenty of healthy, nutritious food, drink water when you can, and get your full 8 hours of sleep. All right. That helped me get ready for placement hours. Obviously, it's a lot of hours that you're doing, like 12-hour shifts predominantly as a first year. But if you're struggling, have a conversation with your practice assessor or your practice supervisor and just say, like, have you got any tips? Is there anything you can advise or do? Is there any chance I could turn one of them 12-hour shifts into like a 9-hour shift and then do an extra day or a day and a half? So that it's about looking at the situation to you, all right, as an individual, and just plan your time, because obviously you're going to have portfolios to build as well. So plan your time effectively, and as I say, like, eat good food, try and get some exercise, look after your mental health, and just kind of focus in on it. You'll find after your first placement, and it comes to your second placement, that focus, you'll know when you come to the end of that placement, and then your focus will change on university time. And I use university time as time to catch up on my sleep, because you know you're guaranteed a couple of days off, or an afternoon off, or a morning off. So that's how I do it. Everybody's different, and you will find your own way. All right. Thank you very much for that question. The next question's for Alan, and it's, is things like the Rcn Museum still open given the current climate?
So at the moment, the Rcn, which we call the Rcn Library and Heritage Centre, which has got the historical displays and various exhibitions, that is currently closed at the moment. However, we have got our current exhibition and previous exhibitions all captured online, and I can put a link into that into the chat there. As I say, we are operating behind closed doors to a certain extent in London at the moment, so we are doing postal loans out to the whole of the UK. Hopefully it won't be too long. Depends really on how the current situation develops, really, but do check out online. There's a really good feature via Google Maps where you can actually go inside our Library and Heritage Centre and have a bit of a snoop around virtually there and check it out. But yeah, hopefully we won't be behind closed doors for too long. I can tell you we're very much looking forward to welcoming everyone back, because virtually is great, but it's always nice to see people in person as well.
Thank you very much, Alan. The next question is for Mike, and it is it okay to manage being a student nurse and being committed to, say, a student ambassador role or even part of the committee, and how often do you meet?
Well, I should probably hand this back to you, really, Scott, but as you're doing it. But I mean, I think what's important as you go into any a nursing course, it is an intensive course. It is, it is placement hours. It is assignments. It's not an easy course, and neither should it be to become a nurse. So you have to manage your time well, and it really has to be up to you about how much time you think you can commit. I would say the committee members and student ambassadors, they do find the time for what they need to do and what they feel able to do. But I think with any of this, it's got to be about individual choice, and it's also, you don't have to do those particular things to be a really active and visible member of the RCN. They are things that are useful and can help your development, and they're absolutely vital to the work of the organisation. But you know, you have to take a view on your own kind of work-life balance, really. But I'm going to stop there and just hand over to Scott about his experiences. There's certainly no pressure from us, but everyone is welcome.
So it's a really good question, really. So I'm a bit of I like to do lots of different things. All right, so I have quite a busy personal life, and then kind of with committee stuff, where it's a hard question to answer. You're constantly committed because it falls in line with your degree, if that makes sense. So the skills I pick up as being a member of the committee are transferable, and I'm using it in practice and at university. And I found that if you're open with your university from day one, when you apply to become a student ambassador or as a member of the committee, your university lecturers are really, really supportive. I know mine were. I know others in the committee were as well, because it looks good for them as a university. So I'd speak to your lecturer about it, kind of your program lead or your personal tutor, that kind of thing. Meeting wise, it's kind of every quarter we have a formal meeting, so it's kind of every quarter over the year. And then it's any kind of, so I'll give you an example. During COVID, we had quite a few emergency meetings, where it was because we needed a response very quickly, to deal with the very fast-paced situation. So yeah, you've got to be committed, but at the same time, you get out of it what you put in, which I've said all the way throughout this webinar, which is you get out of it what you put in. If people want to kind of message me or their committee member, we're all on Twitter. And as Mike said, you can go on the website and you can get in touch with us that way as well. So I've now got to kind of start wrapping things up because we're kind of getting to the end of this. So firstly, what I want to do is I want to thank Mike, Holly and Alan for contributing to tonight's webinar. It's been really informative, and I hope all the first year student nurses and any other student nurse that's joined in has learned kind of quite a bit about what the RCN can do for them as individuals. Also, so I'd like to thank the AV team who kind of have put all this together in the background, because you guys out there don't see the AV team, but they've been really helpful with this setting it up. There is going to be this is recorded, all right, it will be made available within the next few days. Any questions that we haven't answered will be on that recording, and we'll get them attached, or we'll put them on social media and stuff for you to get a look at. Those of you that don't know, the RCN has went through a little period of transformation when it comes to digital stuff, digital resources. And we've now got an app. Yep, we've went into the 21st century and we've now got an app. And this app is based for student members and newly qualified nurses. You can get it online if you go onto the RCN Students Facebook page, RCN Students Twitter account or Instagram. It's all there. Or RCN Students on the website. The link to it all is on there. It's called, I'll just very quickly find it on my phone. It's called RCN Starting Out. All right, so have a look at that. Download it. It's got tons of learning advice. It's got advice from the likes of Holly. It's got support. It's got all sorts of stuff on there. All right, so give it a look, have a look at it, download it, spread the word about it, because it's the new up and coming thing for students who are members of the RCN. And obviously there's the further information available to you online about becoming a member. You can join online as well. I think I pay £10 a year, and that to me is like, you know, out your student finance, that's nothing. And to join there, if you go to www.rcn.org.uk/join, I'm going to ask that once more. That's www.rcn.org.uk/join. Go on there and you will find all the information to become a student member. I hope to see people at student ambassador conferences, and I hope to see you all at the next Congress, which is next year, hopefully, touch wood, as long as COVID disappears or whatever. And keep in touch, give us a follow on social media, ask your questions, all that kind of stuff. And first years, good luck with your nursing journey, and I'm certain you will all make fantastic nurses in the future. So thank you very much.